What is up, everybody? I'm hoping you're all well, and yes, once again it is time to talk about the latest WWE Pay-Per-View. And while this Pay-Per-View may not be an important Pay-Per-View in the eyes of many WWE fans, the storylines have continued into this Pay-Per-View, making it essentially canon. So we have to basically talk about it and say what you want about the Saudi Arabia shows. I have my own thoughts on it. Kyle has his own thoughts on it. We're not going to go into detail about that. We're going to be looking at the matches, a little bit of the audience reaction here and there, but purely we're looking at the matches, the show they actually put on, because that's what we're there to watch it for.
All in all, audience, let's just talk about the audience first.
Audience had moments where they popped,
but
it wasn't much.
3 matches I can think of.
Pretty much.
That what they did, but did something, did not some things, but let's talk about it. Intro.
So Super Showdown kicked off with the opening match, that being Seth Rollins defending his Universal title against Baron Corbin. And while the match, admittedly, was really enjoyable, Baron Corbin was proper healing it up, going towards the referee, which I found incredibly entertaining. Up until the point where the referee then basically went, "Fuck you, I'm the boss, I'm doing my job right, you're being an obed," which then allowed Seth Rollins to get the roll up, get the 1, 2, 3. He retains his Universal Championship. The match itself was good. I really enjoyed the match.
The match itself was actually quite good. I was a bit surprised actually, because when Seth came out to do his entrance, he got a big reaction from the audience. And that is the first of 3 of the entire night that happened. But again, the match itself was really good. They had some moments, Baron Corbin being the absolute dick that he is, telling the referee to do his job and this and that. You can tell, I think he was building up during the match as well, because the referee was getting into a corner and he was like obviously getting screamed in his face, but near the end you can tell coming near to the end, because the referee was like building something up, and then he actually builds something up and says, "I am doing my job, I am the referee, you do what I say," and then Baron's just like, whoa, roll up, and like you said, 1, 2, 3. But again, the match was really good. It did have some moments. I don't know about its... Well, we could talk about the temperature, because you can tell it was so hot.
You can tell it was boiling there, and the superstars were putting on a fantastic show, despite the fact they were probably dehydrated to fuck once they finished. But yeah, you've got to commend them for the show that they put on.
Even during the show, it would tell you like the actual temperature were, and it was 90 degrees. Not Fahrenheit, Celsius. So you can tell how absolutely boiling it were. And the ring itself, the ring area itself, was 101. I can't even handle 40 degrees, but let alone 100. Nah, man, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it.
The match overall was really good, and while I may not like Baron Corbin that much, I generally detest the man. I mean, it's nothing against him, I just don't like his character, I find his character boring. I didn't mind him in this match, I liked him healing it up, he was a good heel. Overall, good win. But then who should come out, whose music should start after the match, when Seth has just been hit by Baron Corbin's move? I can't remember what it's called again now.
End of days.
End of days, that's it. Brock Lesnar should come out with his Money in the Bank briefcase. Heyman proper healing it up, going, yes, we're going to cash in, we're going to get the Universal Championship. But as he got into the ring, he trips and the suitcase falls in front of Seth, thus giving Seth a chance to low blow Brock, then beat the living crap out of Brock with a steel chair, much like Brock did to him on Monday Night Raw. Payback is a bitch. I loved every minute of that. They proper teasing this. I love what they're doing with Brock with the Money in the Bank.
They are doing something that I thought they wouldn't have done. With Brock, I thought, right, it's just going to be the usual dominant self that he is. He'll like get the briefcase and then you leave it about a week or 2, cash in, and then here we go again, back to square one. But no, actually, he's actually doing something completely different, and I'm actually intrigued of what's going to happen. But
I'm loving everything with Brock.
But then again, I'm hit and miss with the whole briefcase as a boombox.
I love it, mate.
I know.
Mate, it's the most entertaining thing I've ever seen.
I know it's entertaining for you, but for me, it's the case of like, this is Brock Lesnar we're talking about. He hardly ever does a character type thing.
Well, now he is, and it's awesome, and I love it. Party Brock is what the shit right now. Party Brock needs to start trending worldwide.
I thought it was Brock Party.
Brock Party, whatever it is. Whatever it is. Beast in the Bank.
Yep.
It's what it is.
Alright, then that's fine, then easy peasy, no problem. After the Universal match, there was the Intercontinental with Andrade versus Finn Balor, and this, again, was...
Versus the Demon.
Yes, forgot. The Demon. Beautiful, loved it. Again, this was a good match actually. They actually told a good story.
They had some good spots in there as well. I thought they all both did great in ring. The only issue for this match was the audience were completely silent.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because the two superstars were really going at it. They were really putting on a good show. So it's a shame that they just.
It was a shame, and it was even that quiet. And I don't know if from the audience or they're trying to like sit down and enjoy the show or something like that, but you could physically hear the air conditioning at ringside. You noticed it, and I noticed it for a while, but I thought, you know what, it might be like the cameras, because you know what WWE like, they like to turn up the sound for the audience or something like that, but air conditioning was so loud you can actually hear it. And for me, I think it affected the match because I wanted to enjoy the match because those two are really good in ring. But at the same time, the audience are not interested, and it's like I couldn't engage with it as much as I want to because for me, Finn Balor being the demon, it is magical. I love it because he goes into that dark place, he becomes that different character, and he's like dominant in a way. But in this match, it was dominant for Finn, and then it got switched over to Andrade, and it was a little bit back and forth. But in the end, Finn retained with the coup de grace as always, and even the body paint that he wore, beautiful. But 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes.
It literally came off within the first couple of minutes.
Exactly. All they had to do was like hold each other, like grab each other like that, and it was coming off. So again, that's just to the heat. But again, the match was good. It could have been better with the audience interaction, but that's obviously me asking for a little bit more. But the match itself was all good. I can't complain much.
Same here. Then after that, we had a feud which I personally don't give a shit about. Now, I love Shane McMahon. I think he's a very charismatic dude, but the fact that they're doing so much with him at the moment, but on both brands, annoys me. And the fact that they've just dropped this feud with The Miz also annoys me because I was more engaged in that than I am with what they're doing with Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Granted, the match itself was fine. It had some good spots here and there. Drew McIntyre, of course, was down ringside, which allowed Shane to pick up the win. Very smoothly done there.
Very
really
smooth. I was surprised by it.
It was very well done there.
Yeah.
The match itself was good, yeah, like I said, but I just didn't buy into it. I wasn't engaged in it because I just don't like what they're doing with Shane at the minute.
The one thing I was very much surprised about the match was it was very Shane dominant.
It was, yeah.
It was very Shane dominant, and that was very surprising because you expect Roman Reigns, this big bulky dude, who is normally dominant in his matches as well, and yet he almost got, I don't know how
he had moments where he took over, but then Shane had always bounced back somehow.
That's something that was the one thing I was really surprised about. And like you said about the ending with Shane picking up the win, it was literally the most smoothest thing you could ever imagine. I think Roman went for a punch.
Shane in the face. Shane fell back, hit the referee in the face, and as the referee just went down and went, oh, ow, because you know they're like parts, they're fragile.
Drew literally just slid underneath, like under the ropes, Claymore kick to the face, and just rolled back out. And how smoothly transitioned it were.
Even obviously the quick roll up as well by Shane, who quickly dived on there as the referee was getting up. Just looked smooth. It was actually really well done. I really like that.
I don't know if they even practiced that, but for something like that to go as smoothly as it did like that, it must have took some kind of practice at least, because if you just did that offhand, it would have been a bit messy, it would have been a bit like stuttering. They actually did it that smoothly. I was actually really impressed with the engine. I hate the fact that Shane won, and again, like you, the feud is disinteresting. I'd rather be Shane and Miz and continue and do that final match between those two, but we just have to wait and see on to the next pay-per-view.
I don't want them to have a final match now. It doesn't make any sense as to why they'd go back to that feud. It makes no sense. Like, don't get me wrong, I'd like to see them in a match again. I'd like to see them finish their feud, but because they haven't said anything about it,
no.
What's the point?
After the whole Shane McMahon and Roman Reigns match, we had an Xavier Woods and a Kofi Kingston promo, which is like Kofi telling his, I don't know, he's trying to build himself up.
Basically being like his usual champion self, saying this is what a champion is, building everyone up, building that support, that inspiration that he's known for. And backstage, really good.
They were really good.
Both really charismatic. When are WWE going to do something with Xavier Woods then?
That is the ultimate question right there. Even I said it to you, I was like, I want Xavier to do something. He's not the best in ring competitor, but if you give
the guy has improved, or if you've seen him in his tag team still for the years, he's definitely improved.
That's what I mean. He is improved, but at the same time, I want him to be more in ring. He has the capability of putting on a good match, really. But again, he's just one of this like a support role thing, and it's like, yeah, he's got the charismatic and the enthusiasm for that. But all in all, he's a wrestler force most, so he needs that, at least a match to say, right, I can hold my own, not just a tag team, just a one-on-one. But then again, that's that case of like, who? Can't complain too much. It was a good build-up. It gets Kofi riled up for the match that's happening later. I liked it. Well, kind of liked it, but I'm not a big promo guy. I just like prefer wrestlers.
I enjoyed the promo overall. I thought it was a good promo. I thought it was a good way to just like show people that this is Kofi and that he is a good guy. He is a face rather than a heel. Charismatic as always, energetic as always. Really liked it.
So after the whole Kofi Kingston promo with his big build-up, we had a handicap with the Lucha House Party versus Lars Sullivan, and we did like a little video thing before the match, didn't they? And you said something about Lars being this big scary dude, which he is.
Yeah, throughout when we first introduced him, he was just constantly trampling through wrestlers, knocking the shit out of them, basically beating the crap out of everyone in his path. And then last week on SmackDown,
he did a promo about 3 blind mice.
He did a poem. And as soon as that happened,
everything.
I wasn't scared of Lars Sullivan anymore. I didn't understand why they made him do that.
See, I didn't see the promo itself, but that little clip, even I looked and went, that is not scary at all. For Lars Sullivan to be the scary guy that he needs to be, he doesn't need to say any words. He just needs to do what he needs to do in the ring, and that is good enough. But again, I said it's a handicap match. It was hit and miss. Lars dominant, and then Lucha had a little...
See, I was expecting Lars to be dominant throughout. I thought it was going to be 100% a squash match.
Nah.
It turned out it wasn't. The Lucha House Party got a bit of offense in here and there.
And then after that, all that, it was a kind of a weird ending. I didn't expect it because I think I was busy doing something else. I might have been talking or something. But the match just ended by disqualification because all 3 of the Lucha House Party ganged up on him, and the referee's just like, right, I lost control, ring the bell, that's it. So Lars won by DQ, and then we're thinking, right, they've done a bit of...
The Lucha House Party started beating up Lars Sullivan.
And then they tried going away, and then Lars was just like, nah mate, I'm having you back. Did a couple of things, and then he just stood there, screamed like he does, which is very weird. He's not exactly a good screamer, and then he just walked off, and then that was the end of it. So again, it shows that Lars is the dominant one, but at the same time it was a really pointless match. I liked it, but it is not important to be on a pay-per-view.
I feel like if it was on the pay-per-view of one of the events in America, it would have been that sort of moment where it gave audience members a chance to relax rather than constantly cheering and doing all the normal stuff that we usually do. But because it was in Saudi Arabia and the audience just didn't seem to care,
I didn't even hear the audience. I didn't even hear the audience.
Then if the audience don't care, why should we care, essentially?
Basically.
Next we have 2 of the greatest in WWE going head to head once again, that being Triple H and Randy Orton. Now, I love both of these guys, they are amazing, and while Triple H may not be as fast as he used to be, they both put on a really good match. It was a slow match, but it was a hard-hitting match.
That's what I like about them too. Again, Triple H, he is like in his early 40s. Randy is not far from 40 himself, but yeah, Randy's got the speed, but Triple H has always been a hard hitter. I don't want to say a powerhouse, but he's, like I said, he's a hard hitter. He's not really fast, so he uses his strength as an advantage, and this match really did have some back and forth.
It had a lot of back and forth. The audience seemed to eat it up as well, but obviously they seem to know Triple H and Randy are very established names, so the audience are going to eat it up.
I think that's when we discovered around this match that the audience only are interested in the match if they know the people.
Yeah.
So they must have got videos from like 10, 15 years ago. So that's what they expect people to be around now. But with this match, again, it was very hit and miss. And even the ending was quite surprising. Because I think me and you would have said Triple H, wouldn't we?
Yeah, I assumed Triple H was going to win. And it turned out that Randy Orton got the win after a second RKO, but the back and forth actually between them, countering between their finishing moves and how they got onto their finishing moves, because they both hit their finishing moves at least once. There's an RKO, then a pedigree, and the final RKO just to put Triple H down. It was really well done, I'm not going to lie. It flowed really well, it flowed at a nice pace. I really enjoyed the match.
Yeah, I did as well, but at the same time I think that's just what this kind of match is. It's 2 iconic wrestlers going at each other for one night in a Saudi event. That's so heartbreaking to say, because they could easily have this kind of match as a WrestleMania match. Easily, because those 2 are like, have this rivalry for 15 years. So basically since Evolution, which was about 15, 16 years ago. So again, it's one of those like things like, I wanted it to be an American main pay-per-view, so SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble kind of event, like one of the big ones. But since it's in Saudi, I can see why they did it. It's trying to get some more push towards it. But at the same time, can't complain too much, but I wish a better location.
Then we had a video package for the 24/7 belt, and personally, I absolutely love what they're doing with the 24/7 belt. I love what they're doing with RTruth. Essentially, RTruth was outside the plane, and then Jinder Mahal rolled him up, got the 1-2-3. He was your new 24/7 champion. But while on the flight, Jinder decided to take a nap covered himself with the blanket. So we had a very comedic moment where RTruth was awkwardly strolling through the plane with his legs sort of agape, trying to find Jinder. Essentially finds him, lays on top of him, gets the 1, 2, 3, retains his 24/7 championship, starts screaming that he is the 24/7 champion,
and then everybody just shot up,
every WWE superstar
because they knew,
shot up and ran after him,
because they knew 24/7, anytime, anywhere, a referee's present. So what did RTruth trying to do? He literally tried to like squishing out of the way, and then he hid in the toilet.
He ran to the toilets and then started talking to the 24/7 championship like it was his baby. I love everything they're doing with RTruth and the 24/7 championship at the moment. Granted, there have been rocky moments here and there, but at the moment I'm still really enjoying it.
As much as I hate the title itself,
I mean, the design is fucking horrible.
But yeah, at the same time, I think I like what they're doing with RTruth being the champion, but at the same time, I think they're doing it a bit too much.
I like it at the moment.
I think he's already in his 6th reign and it's only been out like a week or so. And I want more people to have a chance at least, even if it's for a minute or so, at least.
I think a couple more weeks of RTruth and then it'll get to the point where he gets it taken off of him for good.
No, I just have to say, because RTruth is a comedic kind of character.
He is, and I love him, and that's why I love
it will
what he's doing.
add something to it, but I just want more wrestlers to be a part of it at least.
I mean, this is about the entertainment though.
Fuck the entertainment. I didn't get any entertainment from Saudi. What do you think I'm going to get from this?
I got entertainment from the RTruth bit.
A little bit. So after the whole RTruth little video thing, we had Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley, and again, this was it was slow but hard-hitting match. We do have Braun Strowman as a big dude that he is, and he is very dominant, but in this match he was actually
Bobby
dominated.
Lashley seemed to dominate more than Braun. Like, Braun got a good few licks in here and there, but it was more Bobby dominated, to be fair, and I actually enjoyed the match, to be fair. I mean, I don't really buy into the feud. We're not really doing much with Bobby Lashley, to be fair, and I want them to do more with him because I like him. I think he's great.
There must have been a reason why he came back, because he was obviously over in TNA, or now it's known as Impact. He was there for a good few years and he developed his character really well from this like soft-spoken but yet hard-hitting face, and then he went to Impact for a good couple of years and he went from that to basically being a heel and a bad guy, and he oozes that, he really does. And then he came back and they've done nothing with him really. The only thing they can turn around and say that they can do is what they did with the Shield, like that little feud that they have, and the odd run with the Intercontinental, but that is basically it. There is more to Bobby Lashley, but at the same time they're just not utilising him enough, and that's disappointing because he must came back for a reason. WWE must have said to him like, Ray, we want you back and we're going to get you involved in something. Bobby must have been like, yeah, no problem. And then a couple, like I said, the Shield thing, the IC thing, and now it's Braun Strowman. Again, same thing about Braun. Potential to be something.
Well, they were originally pushing him a lot to be the next like Universal Champion, weren't they? That's what it looked like they were going to do, and now it's just sort of a mid-card player.
And that's again. So with this match, again, it was good, it was hard-hitting, and it was very Bobby dominant, but
Braun somehow still picked up the win.
Still somehow picked a win, and I can't complain about the match.
No, I can't follow it.
I just want more from them. I really want more from them. They have potential to get more from them, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Next we have the WWE Championship, Kofi Kingston versus Dolph Ziggler, and while Dolph Ziggler was obviously thrown into this feud, didn't seem to buy into the feud at all. I love Dolph Ziggler, don't get me wrong, I think he's fantastic, I think he's great in ring. He was proper healing it up here, don't get me wrong. Really enjoyed the match itself, there were some good spots here and there, but because I wasn't invested in the feud personally, I couldn't get fully behind the match.
I think with the Dolph Ziggler Kofi feud, I don't think it's really a feud. It's just, I think it was
But it's basically here just to have a title match at Saudi Arabia.
That's what I mean. Didn't you say something about Kevin Owens?
Yeah, Kevin Owens didn't want to go to Saudi, or chose not to go to Saudi for some reason. I don't know why that
It would have been some like issues, like I think the same with Daniel Bryan because of what happened in the. Can't get too much into it, but something happened in Saudi and it caused a big dent. So I think with that, with Dolph, it was the Kevin replacement. So like I said, the feud wasn't really a big build up, and it's got potential for a big build up, but in a matter of like 2-3 weeks since he's been back, it's literally just like, Ray, I came back, I attacked you, I won the championship. It's like, But again, the match was good itself. There was some hits and miss back and forth, and well, you can describe the ending since this is your part.
Yeah, so the ending was essentially after Dolph Ziggler super kicked Xavier Woods outside the ring. When he was back inside the ring, Dolph and Kofi were going at it, but it got to the point where Dolph ran towards the side of the ropes, which then got hit by Xavier Woods, getting revenge. Kofi then hit the Trouble in Paradise. 1, 2, 3. Kofi retains the WWE Championship.
That is what I like, because it shows that Kofi is a fighting champion in a way,
You were very scared that he wasn't going to be holding it for very long. So was I, but I'm happy that they're keeping it on.
That's what I'm happy about. I'm happy now that they actually keep making him have a good run with the title. Again, with the match, it was, you could say, a little helping hand. But after the match, there was like another little promo from Dolph Ziggler.
It was a nice little promo just saying that he wants a rematch, that essentially because Xavier Woods got involved, Kofi can't fight on his own, that he's a coward, and so he issued a challenge for a steel cage match at Stomping Ground. Stupid name for a pay-per-view. We'll get onto that when we actually talk about that pay-per-view in 2 weeks. But yeah, he issued the challenge, so essentially that's what it's going to be. And I actually liked that they built that up in some sort of way. He basically said, right, Xavier got involved, I want my rematch because it was unfair, I want to face him in a steel cage. Like the little promo, looking forward to the match.
That's what I like. At least something like that, like a little promo like that, actually builds something. So it's like, ooh, what's happening next? Not just like, right, I've lost a match, and then it's like, oh, I'm a revenge, and then being the same thing again. It's actually Dolph's just like, no. He wants a one-on-one steel cage, nobody interfering, everything like that. So I'm really looking forward, because I do like my steel cages, but I'm hoping they don't do what they did at the Money in the Bank.
Then we had the 50-man Battle Royal, the largest Battle Royal in WWE history. Also, the messiest Battle Royal I have ever seen in my entire life. You can't have 50 people in the ring and expect people to be able to see what's going on, because I got lost so many times. There were moments where we were thinking, I wonder who's in this match, and it got to points. I even said to you at one point, oh, where's Shinsuke? I wonder if Rusev is in this match. Didn't see him for ages, and he popped up and I was like, oh fucking hell, he is in the match.
There was another one, Rowan
fucking appeared out of nowhere as well.
Rowan is 6'8", 6'9". He's around that tall, so he's the tallest guy in the ring. We didn't even see him.
No.
We didn't see him until there was about 20 people that got thrown over, so we narrowed it down a bit. And then I just looked into the, I think it was bottom corner with Inter, and he was like, oh, there's Rowan. Didn't see anybody as well, and also in the match as well, they're literally that crammed up, they're like that, and they're punching like that. You're not going to get any offense when you're literally like skin to skin.
It was an incredibly messy match, and I knew it was going to be messy from the moment they announced it. I didn't like it, I did not like it, but the win, admittedly, it made sense for where they were. The win was Mansoor. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. Is it Mansoor? Mansoor, sorry. See, I don't know him. He's literally debuted on NXT last week, or the week beforehand. I don't know who he is. He gained a victory, yeah, but I don't know who he is. The only people who know who he is Saudi Arabia, which is the reason why he won, because we're in Saudi Arabia. He had like 30 odd family members there or something like that. He has a big following in Saudi Arabia. That's the only reason he won the match. Great, heartfelt win.
He's the first one from Saudi Arabia to be signed, so he's the first.
It is, yeah, I understand why they did it. But it just, I didn't know him. And I didn't feel anything. Like, as soon as I saw this guy in there, the announcer said, "Who that guy there? He's from Saudi Arabia, he's got 30 family members there." I went, he's going to win then.
Yeah, that's where it basically is. I mean, like I said, credit
to the young man if they actually do something with this.
Yeah, but they're not going to do anything. The only thing he's going to get remembered for is the fact that he's won the first 50-man Battle Royal, which...
the largest Battle Royal in WWE history. The messiest Battle Royal in WWE history.
That's what I mean. Would you want a title that says, I was the first ever winner of a 50-man over-the-top rope Battle Royal? Bracket, the messiest. Because during the match as well, I'm trying to keep count of who got eliminated, trying to find out who got eliminated. You couldn't keep count because they were like left and right.
I suppose there was one as well where I saw Jinder Mahal out of the ring and then suddenly back in the ring. I could be wrong there, I don't know, but I swear I saw him outside and then back inside. I'm not too sure.
I mean, what happened with Titus? He got into the ring, and then at some point in the match, he must have slid under the ring, and then literally slid underneath the ring, and then halfway through, he decides to pop out again. It's like, is it a comedy match or what? I didn't understand it because of just how bad it was. I literally said to you, it is the worst match of the entire night, because when they first introduced it, I just went, no. Same with the 50-man Battle Royal. Went on too long. And this one, it was just messy. It was no interest whatsoever, so I didn't find any interest whatsoever. I would rather do something else on my phone than watch that match again. I would literally rather watch paint dry than watch that match. That's how bad it is. So after the 50-man Battle Royal, the largest and messiest Battle Royal, we had the main event, the build-up, the first time ever between The Undertaker and Goldberg. And I'm not gonna lie, as much as I'm a big wrestling fan, 15 years ago, if this kind of match happened, I would have been literally bouncing around the house like somebody on crack or somebody on Sugar Rush. This match, I wanted it to work, and it didn't. It didn't.
It is a shame to say that. They're both huge stars, and it was great seeing them in the ring together, but you can tell that age is just getting to them here, and it felt quite awkward to watch. And I hate saying it because I love these guys. I wish them all the best. I really do. But honestly, I didn't like it. It felt like a very
What did you say? What did you say? Like during, I think it was Undertaker's entrance. No, it was Goldberg's entrance. You look like you said that.
As we were walking, it almost looked like he was going to pass out from the heat.
It was literally like he was struggling to breathe, and then
when you said when Undertaker were walking down, that he looked weak. He looked like he was struggling walking down to the ring.
I don't know. They can't. Well, they've obviously done the training, which is fair. If you do your training, you do your training. But if you're carrying something like a little tweak, knock there, or something like that, most wrestlers can carry on with that. But with this, they literally look like they are. Bodies aching from the training they've been doing. And even when it was Goldberg's entrance, like he did this walk up with the security guards up to the production bit with the stand before they go out. How long? We must have been waiting for about a minute at least. And then he eventually showed up. And even then he showed up late because by the time he actually came out, his sparkles went out, so he couldn't do his smoke thing. And then he walked down to the ring, did his whole thing, and then with the Undertaker's entrance, I was expecting something because the Druids came with, like, you know, the flames.
Fire sticks and they looked like coffins. We thought we were going to set the coffins. Yeah, that didn't happen.
I literally thought they were going to set the coffin fire, which would actually build something. It's like, oh, what's happening here? But again, Undertaker came down, he was just literally walking like that, like he was in pain. And then when it came to the match itself, oh my days, God.
Goldberg got busted open at one point as well, and I don't know if that was supposed to happen. It didn't look like it was supposed to happen, but then that threw a lot more out of whack. Some of the moves looked dangerously botched in
especially
some places.
With the jackhammer.
Yeah, that could have gone horribly wrong.
It was almost like a jackhammer into a brainbuster, and luckily enough, Undertaker landed on the majority of his top shoulder. He didn't land on the back of his neck, which thank God for Christ. But after that, it was just. It is literally so hard to describe without actually watching the match itself. And then at the ending as well.
The ending
was just a choke slam.
Final choke slam to Goldberg, and I'm feeling that maybe it was because Undertaker knew he couldn't get him up. Cause it looked like Goldberg was going to go for the tombstone. I think they were supposed to do the usual flip back and switch up to the tombstone.
Lost balance.
That botched, and so I think they just went for the choke slam. But even then, there wasn't much height. Like Undertaker's known for getting a massive height on his choke slams. There was barely anything there. You can tell they were both completely knackered, and it was a disappointing match. The last two matches for this show were disappointing in my opinion.
I knew from the get-go when they did announce the 50-man and the first time ever, I knew that they were mistakes. I'm going to say that word. They were mistakes. Like I said, 15 years ago with the Undertaker Goldberg, perfect. That would be like the talk of the century near enough. It's the fact that they are like retirement age for them.
In their 50s, aren't
they? Yeah, so that's basically a wrestler's retirement in some ways. And yet, it was so bad. I did not want it to be so bad, but I knew it was going to be so bad, but I didn't expect it to be this bad. And then I think I read something on the internet after that, those two actually got into a heated argument because of what Undertaker said to Goldberg, how he messed up a couple of spots. So I'm thinking it was like the tombstone and probably choke slam and the odd things like that. So you can tell that they probably did plan it out, but all in all, it's like, there's one way I can describe it. Like if you were young and you had two action figures and you like playing with them, it's very difficult to get the things that you want to do like a normal human could do. And then you get frustrated and you just slam them down and that'll be it.
That sounds like what you do because you're an immature little bitch.
True, but like I said, I wanted this match to be something, and it turned out to be heartbroken. It was heartbreaking to say the least.
So the show overall, while it had disappointing, the last two matches being disappointing, overall the matches themselves weren't half bad. I quite enjoyed a lot of the matches in this show. To be honest, we're a little bit more involved this time than they have been in other times. Again, the Saudi Arabia shows I'm not bothered about. I hate that we've got 10 years of this. I really don't care about them. But overall, the show was okay. I suppose I'd give it 5 out of 10.
Wow.
You've got to think about match quality.
I'm going to think
superstars are great, and think about the heat that they were performing in.
I can understand that, but at the same time, again with you, the 10 years partnership, it kind of works out they have 2 Saudi events a year. We've still got like 18 more of these. I do not fancy going on 10 years watching these events, and
but we're not rating this show on the future shows.
No.
So rate this show on what it is. Stop being a little bitch. And rate the show on the matches that we saw. Not so much for the audience participation because that was a bit shit.
That's gonna knock my rating though because of the audience participation. It's gonna knock my ratings. You got a 5 out of 10. I'm gonna say like a 4 because, like I said, the only memorable match I can turn around and say that I'm gonna remember is the the Universal, the WWE, the IC.
No, not many, man.
I gave it a 4. The matches were good, but I knew that I'm not going to give a big rating for this event because just how pointless it is.
So, WWE Super Showdown, have you guys seen it? What did you think about it? Whatever your thoughts are, let us know in the comment section below. Thank you as always to Kyle for joining me in these little reviews. We will be back again for Stomping Grounds. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and if you want to see more videos just like this one, then subscribe to my channel for more. Thanks again for watching. You guys are awesome, and I will see you all in the next video.